Every mystery begins with a question, a missing person, a forgotten object, a strange event buried in history. Sometimes the answers are hidden, sometimes they're never found, and sometimes the truth is stranger than anything we could imagine. Welcome to the Unexplained Archives. This is a collection of mysteries, crimes, legends, and unexplained stories from around the world. Tonight's story begins on the morning of December 1st, 1948. A man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. He was well dressed, clean, no signs of violence, no identification. No one reported him missing. No one ever came forward to claim him. His fingerprints matched no record anywhere in the world. Every label had been carefully removed from every piece of clothing he wore. But in a hidden pocket, sewn into the waistband of his trousers, investigators found a tiny rolled up scrap of paper. Two words, printed in a rare edition of a Persian poetry book, Tamam Shud. It means it is ended. 75 years later, no one knows who he was, where he came from, or how he died. This is the Somerton Man. He was found at 6:30 in the morning, propped up against the sea wall facing the ocean. Witnesses had seen him there the previous evening. They assumed he was a drunk or sleeping. Nobody thought to check on him. He was around 40 to 45 years old, approximately 5 foot 11, well built, athletic even. His shoes were recently polished. His suit was expensive. He had half a cigarette tucked behind his ear, an unlit cigarette between his fingers. There was no wallet, no ticket stub, no hotel key, nothing that could tell anyone where he had come from or where he was going. The coroner who examined him noted something strange. His cause of death was almost certainly poisoning, but no known poison was found in his system. His organs showed signs of acute stress consistent with a fast acting toxin, but nothing identifiable, which meant one of two things. Either the poison was rare enough that 1940s toxicology couldn't detect it, or someone had gone to extraordinary lengths to make sure it couldn't be found. In the months after his death, investigators pieced together what little they could. In a suitcase found at Adelaide railway station, unclaimed, they discovered clothing with labels removed, a needle and thread of an unusual type, a wax coated thread of a kind used in the United States Army during World War II. The suitcase was his, but it told them almost nothing about who he was. The poetry book, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, was eventually traced to an extremely rare edition published in New Zealand. Only a handful of copies were known to exist. Inside the back cover, investigators found a phone number. It led to a nurse named Jessica Thompson. She claimed not to know him, but her reaction when shown a plaster cast of his face told investigators something different. She went pale, visibly shaken. She composed herself quickly and said nothing. She never changed her story. She took whatever she knew to her grave in 2007, and the phone number near the Tamam should note. The same book also contained a series of letters, 5 lines seemingly random that have never been decoded. Cryptographers have been trying since 1949. Now let's look at some theories. Theory 1, Cold War Spy. The timing, the removed labels, the undetectable poison, the coded message, the mysterious nurse. Intelligence agencies have examined this case repeatedly. The theory is that the Somerton Man was a foreign spy, Soviet, American, or British, who was either eliminated by an opposing agency or took his own life to avoid capture. The coded message, if it is indeed a cipher, would support this. The type of thread in his suitcase, American military grade, adds to the picture. Australia in 1948 was a hub of Cold War activity. British nuclear tests were underway. Spy networks were active. The timing fits. Theory 2, Jessica Thompson's secret. Some researchers believe Jessica Thompson knew exactly who he was, possibly a former lover, a former husband, or someone from a life she had closed the door on. After her death, her daughter came forward with new information. She believed the Somerton Man may have been her biological father. In the decades after the Somerton Man's death, one question overshadowed all the others. Who was he? For more than 70 years, investigators had no answer. Then, in 2022, the case took a dramatic turn. Researchers extracted DNA from preserved hair samples taken from the Somerton man's body. Using the same type of genealogical analysis that helped identify the Golden State Killer, they began reconstructing his family tree, and a partial match was found to a family of English-Scottish descent. The results pointed to a man named Carl Webb, an electrical engineer born in Melbourne in 1905. By 2026, many researchers consider the identification highly persuasive. But identifying the man did not solve the mystery. We still don't know why he died. We still don't know what the code means. And we still don't know why so many traces of his identity appear to have been deliberately removed. Whether Carl Webb is ultimately accepted as the final answer or not, the DNA breakthrough changed the conversation. The mystery was no longer who the Somerton man was, it became why he ended up on that beach. Theory 3: Suicide with a message. Some researchers believe that the Tamam Shud note was deliberate, a final statement from a man who had chosen to end his life and wanted to leave a farewell encoded for someone specific. Jessica Thompson may have been that person. The book, the phone number, the two words, all pointing to a private goodbye that was never meant to be found by anyone else. If so, it worked too well. The message was found but never understood. The 5 lines of letters found inside the Rubaiyat are among the most studied unsolved ciphers in the world. They've been fed into computers, analyzed by government cryptographers, published in academic papers. Nobody has cracked them. Some believe they're a one-time pad cipher, a nearly unbreakable encoding system used by intelligence agencies. If so, whoever sent the message had a matching key, and that key no longer exists. Some believe they're not a cipher at all, that they're initials, first letters of a personal message, a poem, a note, a declaration, written in private shorthand that only one person was ever meant to understand. Jessica Thompson, perhaps. The Somerton man was buried in Adelaide. His grave remained unmarked for decades. Eventually, a headstone was placed, with no name, just a date, December 1st, 1948. In 2022, following the DNA work, there were discussions about whether to finally give him a name. But until an official identification is confirmed, he remains one of the 20th century's greatest mysteries. A man who took every clue to his grave, left a message no one could read, and died facing the sea. Tamam Shud, it is ended. Except, in a strange way, it wasn't. Because 75 years after his death, people are still trying to understand the final days of the man found on Somerton Beach. And that's where the trail goes cold. Whatever the explanation may be, the questions remain. And as long as they do, the story continues. This channel is going to be home to a lot of stories like this one, unsolved, unexplained, but always rooted in real people. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious.